In the bustling city of Lagos, Sandra was the epitome of success. She was beautiful, smart, and a respected manager in one of the largest companies in the country. Her husband, Latana, was her perfect match, a quiet, steady man who preferred to keep a low profile. He wasn't flashy, but he was comfortable, managing investments and overseeing a few small businesses quietly. To outsiders, they were the perfect couple. However, to Lotana's family, the balance of power in the marriage seemed skewed. Sandra earned a larger paycheck, drove the flashier car, and was the one people talked about. This did not sit well with his mother, Mama Lotana, and his older sister, Amoka. "She's too big for her shoes," Amoka muttered to her mother one evening. "How can she be richer than our brother? It's shameful. He's the man. What happens when she starts disrespecting him?" Mama Lotana frowned. "Exactly. Men should not let their wives overshadow them. It's dangerous." But when they tried to bring this up with Lotana, he just laughed it off. "Sandra would never disrespect me," he said confidently. "Her success doesn't intimidate me, it makes me proud." Mama Lotana's face darkened. "You may trust her now, but what about later? A woman with too much money becomes a problem. Mark my words." What made matters worse for Mama Lotana and Amoka was that Sandra was incredibly generous to them. She regularly sent money for family needs without asking for recognition. Birthdays, hospital bills, and even the house rent for Amoka's son in school, Sandy, as she was fondly called, took care of it all. At first, they were happy to accept her money. But with time, the gift began to feel like a reminder of her power. "Does she think she's better than us?" Amoka once complained bitterly to her mother. "She's doing too much," Mama Lotana agreed. "It's almost like she wants to show that we depend on her. She thinks she's a queen because she has money." It didn't help that Sandra did all of this without consulting Lotana. "You see," Amoka whispered. "She doesn't even ask her husband before sending money. She's controlling everything." Mama Lotana nodded. "We need to do something before it's too late." Amoka came up with the idea first. "Let's find out more about her," she said, her eyes gleaming. "Nobody rises to the top without doing something shady. What if she's been stealing at work?" Mama Lotana's lips curled into a smile. "That's smart. If we can expose her, we'll humble her. Then Lotana can take control." Amoka hired a private investigator and gave him strict instructions to follow Sandra. For weeks, the investigator trailed her, watching her every move. Finally, he returned with what he believed was evidence. Sandra had recently purchased a luxury house in Ikoyi. The payment had been made directly from her company's account. "Huh!" Amoka exclaimed when she heard the news. "I knew it. She's a thief." Mama Lotana clapped her hands in excitement. "This is it. This is how we bring her down." The two women decided to report Sandra to her company's owner. They reached out to the Human Resources Department, claiming they had urgent information about one of the managers. The HR officer, intrigued, arranged a meeting with the company's owner. "He doesn't come to the office often," she said, "but for a matter like this, he'll make an exception." Amoka and Mama Lotana were thrilled. "When this comes out," Amoka said gleefully, "Lotana will see her for who she really is." On the day of the meeting, the air was tense. Sandra had no idea what was happening. She was at work, focused on her tasks, while Amoka and Mama Lotana prepared to deliver what they believed was a fatal blow. Amoka was nervous but excited. When the owner hears about this, Sandra will be fired on the spot. Mama Lotana nodded. And she'll finally know her place. The HR officer led them to a large conference room and asked them to wait. The women sat down, fidgeting with their bags. Every second felt like an hour. Finally, the door opened. They turned to greet the owner, only to freeze in shock. Standing before them was Lotana. Lotana! Amoka gasped, her voice shaking. Mama Lotana's mouth opened and closed like a fish. What are you doing here? Lotana walked in, calm and composed, and sat at the head of the table. I own this company, he said simply. The silence in the room was deafening. You own the company? Amoka stammered. Yes, Lotana replied. I founded it years ago. Sandra works here because we agreed she should help manage the operations while I focus on other projects. But the house, Mama Lotana began, her voice weak. Lotana's expression hardened. The house was purchased with company funds because I approved it. It's a bonus for her hard work. Every expense she makes is accounted for and approved by me. Amoka's face turned pale. We didn't know. Lotana leaned forward, his voice sharp. You didn't know because you assumed the worst. Instead of supporting my wife, you tried to destroy her. Do you have any idea how much she has done for this family? And this is how you repay her. By the time the meeting ended, Amoka and Mama Lotana were thoroughly humiliated. They left the office with their heads hanging low, unable to meet Lotana's eyes. At home, Lotana confronted them again. If you ever meddle in my marriage again, he warned, there will be consequences. My wife and I are a team, and nothing you do will change that. When Sandra learned about what had happened, she was heartbroken. I can't believe they would do this, she said quietly. Lotana took her hands in his. Don't worry about them. They are not worth your tears. I've dealt with it. Though Sandra chose to forgive, she was more cautious around her in-laws. Lotana, on the other hand, kept a closer eye on his family, ensuring they never tried anything like that again. As for Amoka and Mama Lotana, they learned the hard way that envy and bitterness only lead to shame. In the end, Lotana and Sandra's bond grew stronger, proving that trust and partnership always triumph over jealousy and sabotage.